I am Sonia Boyce.
Today, I'm Lori Christian. Good morning.
Welcome to Workforce Waves radio show. And Sana has her schedule is pretty tight these for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to be winging it, and we're going to be bringing in, I guess, from time to time, other people to co-host as guests, as co-hosts. So, but today, Lori, we have people who are calling in. So, who's our first caller today?
Our first caller is going to be Sir Bob Knight,
Okay,
and he works for Equus. He is our uh, he links us with changes in the government, federal government.
mhm. And who else?
Oh, that's right, and also of course Dr. Faulkner,
Mhm.
and so she'll be calling in from St. Thomas Department of Education.
Okay, is there a time like when they're?
Yes, so Bob should be calling in just any minute now. And Dr. Faulkner is going to join us right about the half past the hour.
Okay, so let's talk about Bob. Some of the things he
Well,
will be.
before we go there,
Mhm.
I just want to let people know that on St. Thomas today, there is a job fair. So it took place over here, what was it, I think on the 8th, and today is the 14th. So at Tutu Park Mall from 11 to 3, the vet done for work. uh, Take a look at the opportunities that are available. There'll be employers there, and Department of Labor is looking forward to having you visit.
Okay, so you one of the things that we want to talk about is the document you sent so people can at least get an idea of our focus today. Um, you want to just briefly discuss it?
Oh well, I'll piggyback off you.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So there's so many changes happening on a national level that are um, we here in the Virgin Islands, we need to start preparing for those changes. And we can't afford to not prepare ourselves. So we have Bob is he's the director of government relations and workforce policy for Equus Workforce Solutions. And he's one of the nation's leading workforce development and human services organizations based in Washington, D.C. He provides strategic insight, legislative analysis, and policy guidance for workforce boards, state agencies, training providers, and employers across the country. He has decades of experience shaping national workforce systems. He previously served for 22 years as president of the National Association of Workforce Boards, where he strengthened the role of local boards nationwide. Early in his career, he worked on Capitol Hill as a professional staff member on the U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Employment and Training, helping develop major federal workforce legislation that formed the foundation of today's workforce programs. His deep understanding of national policy, combined with hands on experience at the local level, makes him one of the most influential voices in workforce development today. And there is President Trump has, I guess, the golden era that
Mhm.
he has formed around his administration, some of the things that he um, changes that are happening on a national level. And Bob is going to speak to us about some of those changes, particularly the apprenticeship programs. So, in your discussion with him, Lori, what specifically did he say he would um, provide besides what we put out there?
So he's prepared to take I guess we'll be taking a brief look at where we've been in 2025, because I think just all of the changes have been so it's sort of been like looking at rapid tennis. The ball comes over, then it goes back, and then it comes back again, like ping pong. So where have we been in 2025, and then what is the landscape looking like at this time? Because there have been huge impacts. And then maybe just a brief projection, so to speak, like what's it looking like ahead?
Okay, so what would you say some while we await him, because you're the um, one-stop operator for the territory, what would you say some of the national workforce priorities for 2026 would be, based on I know we've written our state plan, um, we've had so many conversations across the territory with Vital, our core partners, some of the initiatives that we've been talking about within our meetings that we want to prioritize as core partners, stakeholders in the workforce systems.
So I'm going to go to the money, right? The funding. So many of us are talking about funding opportunities have been pulled, things that we've been used to. So this is a time of change, and there are training opportunities available. There are opportunities in the mix of the quote unquote fray. We just have to be flexible at this time and open to um, finding what those are, right? So the board chair, Chairman Carty, was here last week, and I was really left with like, wow, we keep talking about tech, 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 and AI, but the trades are key. You know, I tell everyone I love my plumber. Without the plumber, I just don't even know. So trades, we have to have it. And I think there is a unique opportunity for us to be looking at tech and trades. You can do both, right? Something with your hands, but then also um, something technology driven. We have to have both. And so I think that training and getting people geared up to be able to use that word pivot, key. Certainly changes with SNAP, right? Some of the changes involve individuals having to actually, if they're not working, they are volunteering and putting some time in. So that's not the way it used to happen. And then certainly right now, the recertification process that is happening. We touched on this a bit during the summit when the Commissioner of Human Services was one of the lunchtime guest panelists, and we look forward to having her back to really look at where we are actually now. Because at the time, we weren't really sure. These are things that are coming down the stretch, but we're not sure yet. But now it's here, and we have to look at that.
Okay, because the Senate right now, the continuing resolution CR, it's up in the air. I think January 21st is supposed to be the day that action is going to be done around it. So is that one of the things Bob is going to just briefly touch on? Because we do have a show planned that we're going to tie that in with a financial literacy piece. We don't want to just spring on, these are all those changes that are coming down the pipe, but we also want to, let people know, yes, there are changes and you have to adhere to those changes, but we can provide you with solutions as to how best to navigate that.
Mm-hmm. And so I think across the board with USDOL, and I know you're in touch with them all the time, just across the board, everything is switching up and changing. And it's not, I think we're looking at, or the temptation is to look at this through the eyes of lack, but where are the opportunities? And certainly it's just a time of change, and it's just different. It's just different. So we're going to be okay, but we're not going to be able to sit on our laurels, so to speak, and that things happen.
Yeah.
We have to be prepared to move.
It's so important that you stress that. It's important that we also stress that it's nothing to be afraid of. Once we look at it as something fearful, I like to use the word opportunity. It's an opportunity to see how best you can maneuver through it, because there may be certain things that you may have wanted to do in the past, but because you had to, adhere to certain guidelines, policies, procedures, that you had to put things on the back burner. But now that you have that flexibility to be able to do that, um, if you are placed in a position where there are changes to your benefits, then you know that you have other alternatives, and we don't want to put fear into anybody's heart. Hearing all these things, I'm sure every day there are changes. We're watching what's happening regionally, nationally, globally, and those things can be a bit intimidating in a sense if we're not aware of the background, what's happening in the background. And one of the things I would really like to recommend for people who don't have the time to actually sit and sift through all the stuff and remove the rubbish from the distractions from what is really accurate. Identify somebody in your family or somebody you trust, like as that go-to person who will do the research, bring the information to you, or to the family, and you guys can make a decision. Okay, this is what we need to do as a family, or as a group, or as an organization. And so when things happen, you're not sitting there like, oh my God, what's next? Or how am I going to be impacted by this? But because you've already done the legwork, or somebody has done the legwork to help you through that, through this. So maybe one or two people within your family, your group, your circle, you can rely on them to really do that deep dive, that deep search.
And I would say diversify your, lack of a better way to put it, your news sources. Right? So many people just, they're tuned to either it's just all CNN or all Fox or all this particular thing, but there are so many other options worldwide. And I know I sent you a link or the article about the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, right? So I love my PBS and my NPR, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, but I see a huge opportunity with this. So clearly, there's some other things happening. I'm not going to get into all of that, but you know, but I feel like this will, because of the YouTubes and the social medias and all of that, there is a potential for a diversification, even more so than we've had it now with news sources, right? Because if journalists aren't working in the ways they used to, someone could say, you know what, I'm going to start a private whatever and just start putting out my perspective on what's happening in let's just say, Minnesota right now, for example, or here in the VI. If we really, I just think there's a huge opportunity. And not that it's all quote unquote accurate, because you have to use critical thinking and then, like you're saying, have the conversations and hash it out a bit. But I think we're just past the point of being spoon fed. That's just over. It's like, make a choice. Either getting up and moving forward, or you're gonna get run over. I mean, that might sound a little harsh, but it's just what I see.
So are you challenging the people of the United States Virgin Islands, the local residents, to start creating their own, I guess, source of, because there is a big void here, a big void for local people to bring the news to us. Yes, we rely on the consortium, and that's our go-to consortium, the VI source, the Synchrony source, and the other, daily news, other news sources. But in terms of what you're talking about, the YouTubers, the local people, there's a gentleman, I think he's on St. Thomas, who who also, I can't remember his name right now, but he wears a hat all the time. I think it's like a
I don't know who this
yeah.
is.
But anyway,
Okay.
if his name comes to mind, I will say Junior. But there is a big void here in the community in terms of what's happening in the region. So people who have been following um, the issues, and they know that and the impact, because they are following, and they have their opinion on it. I went to wash my car. I think it was last week or week before last. I won't call the name of the car wash. And I was sitting there, and I enjoy having conversations with people, and the people had strong opinions about it, and the average man and woman, you would think that who is not keeping up with what's going on. They are, and they're very well versed. So, and there was so much knowledge out there. I would love for maybe one or two or three people in the community who are well versed on those issues, particularly what's happening in our region, and to tie it in with what's happening in the Virgin Islands. I applaud our online um, news outlets, but I want to also hear it from the average man and woman out there who are, just in their homes, sitting there and studying it, and to give their opinion to,
It's perspective,
different
right?
perspectives.
Sometimes we feel a bit challenged if someone is approaching us with thought or viewpoint that's different from our own, but this is how we grow.
Yeah, and it's YouTube, so they can monetize their page
Mhm.
to make money off of the
That'll be a good show.
yeah, just keeping people up to date with what's happening, exclusively with what's happening in the region. So geopolitics. I think that would be excellent. I would enjoy listening to different perspectives.
So there's a lot out there. I mean, some of it is set up to be, um, I don't want to say thought provoking, but they're definitely making a conscious effort to push your buttons.
Mhm.
And then there are others that are just a bit more, thoughtful in the approach, and are just giving you food for thought.
Mhm. So is Mr. Knight coming on? Because it
This
is.
is maybe it's the time change.
What state is he in?
He's in BC,
That's just an hour.
but I mean, he knows. So
And what about Dr.
Dr.
Faulkner?
Faulkner, she has the information. I just sent her a text.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, let's just bring it back to.
Oh, she said she's trying. So I'm not sure.
Does she have the right number?
Yeah, she has it. Let me just get with Josh for a second.
Yeah, he can play some music in the meantime.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think, did he just leave us?
No, I think somebody came.
Oh, somebody came in. Let me grab him for a second to right back.
Okay, incoming call. Oh, Josh must have picked it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your patience with us. We had two guests scheduled to be on today, and I don't know if there are any challenges with them calling in, because the topics that we have for you are very germane to what's happening here in the territory, and it's important that you are updated on.
She's here.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Josh. Dr. Faulkner. Hello.
Whoops.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good day. Thank you for joining us today. You want to let me first introduce you as a member of the Virgin Islands Workforce Development Board. You are a board member. So we'd like to welcome you to the show. So tell the community a little about yourself.
Hi, my name is Dr. Monique Faulkner. I'm the State Director for Career, Technical, and Adult Education for the United States Virgin Islands. Basically, I oversee career and technical education training programs for at the secondary and the adult level um, for the Virgin Islands Department of Education and adult literacy programs where we work to help adults with the literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and workforce readiness skills. These programs are integrated and aligned, so to speak, to a certain extent. And that's in a nutshell, basically my role.
Okay, well, thank you for that, sharing your information. So I know you've been doing a lot of background research regarding what's happening with the CR, the continuing resolution. You've been keeping abreast of what's going on in the U.S. Senate, the House of Representatives, also with the U.S. Department of Education, Labor, and a host of other entities that govern the territory and benefits. We receive training programs, funding, you name it. So I know you want to speak today. Is it on the CR that you're talking about today, or what specifically did you want to?
I, I actually want to keep it a little general. I don't want to really go too much in depth with the continuing resolution because there are things that are being worked out right now, and until we actually solidify our game plan, I would like to really keep it a little bit general, more public focus.
Hmm. Okay, so tell us, what do you want the public to know?
What I really want the public to know that we have these programs out here available for Virgin Islanders as far as career and technical education um, and adult education, and that the programs are free. Well, the programs are free to a certain extent for CTE. Um, I suspect that most of the population will probably be eligible for tuition assistance to the technical certification training program through the Workforce Development Board. I know that our electric vehicle certification program is free, and that's a new program that we actually brought out within the past year at CTEC and at the Rafaelo Whitney Skill Center. And what that program does is, all of our clients are going towards hybrid and electric right now. But in the Virgin Islands, we really have individuals that are trained and certified to deal with the technology that goes into fixing these cars. And that's why, through the Office of the Governor, we obtained the congressional grant so that we could develop or create an electric vehicle certification program. Our instructors went away, they got certified. We purchased the kit cars, and we have the program up and running right now in both districts. And it's practically, I would say, practically free to Virgin Islanders. And even if a Virgin Islander that's interested in becoming certified in electric vehicle, which is EV, cannot really afford it, or if they're not eligible for the workforce uh, stipend to go for free, and they can't really afford it based on their debt ratio. What we can do is we can actually offset the cost of the program with a little grant so that they can afford to go to either CTEC or the East Coast Center. And and enroll in that program and get certified.
Okay, you've been doing
We
some.
are,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say you've been doing a lot of amazing work within your programs. And last year you had the was it a summit for the youth? It was last year, right?
Yes,
St. Thomas.
yes.
Yes, and I watched it. The live it was live streamed, and I was so impressed with some of the students there. And actually, one of the young men, I was so impressed with his delivery that I thought it would have been ideal if he served, part of our summit. So, um, yeah, do you tell us about that and how did it come about and what are your plans moving forward with it? Are you continuing it? Because it's a very, very good opportunity for young people.
It is, and what I did was I kind of sunset it for a minute because I touched on all three islands. I highlighted all three islands. I wanted to actually post the last one that we did last year was actually for the island of St. John, but because of the size of it, we could not accommodate it on the island of St. John, so we ended up having to hold it at the Emancipation Garden. But we did Borough Park in St. Croix for year two and year one
Hmm.
for St. Thomas. We actually also did the Emancipation Garden. So year three was actually St. John, and we paid the VA Department of Education actually brought the students from St. John over to the St. Thomas district to participate in that event last year. And basically what that event was, right, is to get bring awareness to the great things. So we always care about negative things that's happening. That event was to bring about awareness of the great things that's actually happening in career and technical education in the Virgin Islands Department of Education. There are great things happening. Our students are able to articulate their trade as they demonstrate. They're
Hmm.
able to tell you things that you wouldn't even know, that the normal person doesn't know. But because they are actually young tradesmen and women in their field in training, they have that technical jargon. They could tell you this is I can't even repeat. I ain't afraid to say and afraid to say that I can't even articulate their trade the way that they can articulate their trade. But what we're doing is at the school levels now, we're going to be highlighting more and more of what's going on. So those three was to bring it out to the public to let them know, hey, this is what your kids are doing. This is what your sons, your daughters, your nieces, your nephews, your friends, this is what they're doing. That was also to let the lower class men, the younger students, those exploratory students come out and see and ask questions of the upperclassmen and be engaged and they were actually learning. I mean, even the younger students, the exploratory students from the elementary schools, when you ask them like, what did you learn? They could demonstrate and they could articulate what their upperclassmen told them, and that was so impressive, and that was the purpose of that. But even though I kind of sunset it for a minute, it's because I want to focus now on all our students and our lower classmen, like our entrepreneurial students that are in elementary school, high school. I want to focus on the entrepreneurial mindset of the youth.
Hmm.
So the next event that I'm planning in very short order would be an entrepreneurial, um, a young entrepreneurship, a young entrepreneurship
I like
event.
that.
Yeah, where our students who are young entrepreneurs can come out and they can demonstrate what they're offering to the public. Like for instance, we have some of them that make hair bows. We have some of them that make um little lipsticks and lip gloss. But that takes chemistry, right?
Hmm.
They have to learn how to mix. We have some of them that cook, you know. We have some of them that do natural drinks. We have some of them that sew. I think at one of our city fairs, we had a fashion show with a young designer from Ivana Udarakan High School, and the students actually modeled all of his clothes. And then each year we have, like for instance, what we do in St. Thomas, we have the Lockwood Elementary School students that come out and they model the aprons that they made, the bags that they made, the payloading. In the St. Croix district, we have the students that demonstrate how they are able to create, they make flashlights,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, with battery packs. And in the event of a hurricane and loss of power, they are able to create or make a flashlight. So I think it's important for us to really highlight the young entrepreneurial mindset of our students. And that's what I want to do now.
Definitely, and I would love to collaborate with you on that because we do have to start getting more into the business mindset and having them learn from early on that you don't have to go to work for someone. You are able, just giving them the right tools, just teaching them how to, from an early
Yes,
age, they can start preparing themselves, planning and mapping out how they're going to go about doing it. So I applaud you for that. And I'd definitely like to work with you on that.
yes. And coming up in short order, you know, the Commission of Education um, and Ms. Danielle Lang, who works for the Commission of Education, they're doing a parent retreat in St. Croix in February and then in St. Thomas in March. And as we do that parent retreat, one of the things that we're also going to be introducing is an integrated education and training uh, policy, where we're going to show individuals within our one-stop system, our workforce innovative opportunity act system, or we are partners. You know, what is an IEP program? How should an IEP program be established? We have actually completed the work on the manual, and we're getting ready to actually send it out to print. You know, and so this is an opportunity for us now to reach more of our adults, to actually keep our talent, take our talent here at home and get our talent here at home into the workforce. So how do we do it? We do it through integrated education and training at accelerated thinking, because adults do not have time to sit down in a classroom and learn reading, math, language arts, science. Life happens for them. They have to get out into the workforce. They have to become self-sufficient members of society. So how do we do that? We do that by integrating the academic and the workforce readiness and the technical skills training in stackable ways, and making sure that at level one, they can at least get out and earn a sustainable wage earning, and then they can re-enter into the training system for level two, and then as they complete with their certification in level two, they're eligible for increased earnings from their employer, and then level three and level four until they have mastered, and then guess what? They are completely self-sufficient because now they're skilled up. And that's they say, what, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's the one bite at a time that we're doing.
I like that. So you said Danelle Lang. I know with Danelle heading that up, it will be successful. So how would somebody hearing you talk about it, how can they get in touch with her? Or is it ready to be published to the community, the general public? So how would somebody be able to, get in touch with,
Connect.
be connected to this program and to Danelle?
Well, actually, I know that Ms. Lang is actually looking to come out in very short order to the public with the information. But for more information or to get in contact with her, you could just call the VI Department of Education at 340-774-0100 and ask to speak to Ms. Lang. Or you could ask to speak to me, Monique Faulkner. and I will actually navigate you through to Miss Lang. And I know that Miss Lang would love to come on your show
Oh,
and speak
absolutely.
to
She's
you more
welcome
about it.
anytime.
So,
Yes.
um, shameless plug.
We didn't hear you for a moment, but if you want to just repeat that. But yes, if you anytime you guys want to come in and come on the show and talk about what's happening, how you can get more people connected to the programs or opportunities you're providing the general public, just let Lori know and she will schedule accordingly.
Mhm. I'm gonna email you.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we have something going on too, Laurie. Laurie's there.
I'm
Oh,
here, but we're not ready.
We talk about the initiative that we have going on for St. Joy.
No, we have not as of yet. So when I get with you next week, when you come back on, we'll pick up on that one.
Okay,
Yes,
all right,
yes,
yeah. So
yes.
we have a lot of good things that are public facing, and one of the things that we want the public to do is just come out. Um, just come out. Maybe a lot of times people say, "Well, I didn't know about it." Um, we advertise, we speak on radio shows, but I think that one of the key is to go on key radio shows where the public listens to regularly and they call in, like your show. To get on those key radio shows and just talk in general. But most definitely, I am definitely excited about the young entrepreneurship um, initiative that I'm getting ready to roll out in place of the CTE Fair. I'm getting ready to roll that out. We also have a Rep Your Pathway competition that's getting ready to be rolled out because um, we want the public and the parents and the employers in the VI employment sector to know that our students are ready. So one of the things that another initiative that we are going to be doing here at the VI Department of Education in very short order is Rep Your Pathway, where our students will be able to represent their pathways through videography that they create
I like that.
by interviewing their teachers and their peers and just telling us about their pathway. For instance, if you're in the NAF Business Academy, tell us about the NAF Business Academy. Interview your teacher. We want the students to be responsible for repping their pathway and for their direction. And we hope that by putting the student at the forefront, parents will see, become involved, and get engaged. And we hope that also the younger classmen, the exploratory students, would see, become involved, and get engaged. So that's basically the idea behind of that Rest Your Pathway segment.
Dr. Faulkner, and we love data. We love to survey. Would could you find, I guess, do a survey in the background of some of the demand sectors, some of the sectors that the young people are is popular among them. So at least we can get an idea within their generation or their age group what they're looking for. Because when we did that survey, for the maritime survey, when we first started, we haven't gotten it into the schools yet, right? The one for the maritime.
No,
Okay, so
no.
when that's another initiative you can also talk about if you want to, getting the maritime apprenticeship program in the schools. So that's something we are working diligently toward, and it's going to happen. So let's see what the survey
And
results say when we meet next.
exactly, and you know what? I that is pivotal because I know that a lot of our students are interested in the maritime industry. And so an internal survey would be great to find out what industries they're interested, what career paths they're interested in. And the maritime industry plays a big role. And we know that our students go outside of VIDE, and they engage in other ways. And so I know for a fact that that pathway that we are actually bringing forward
Yes.
is going to be a
Mhm.
success among our students. That and aviation. So I wanted to talk about those two. So with aviation, for instance, um, the AOPA, um, the AOPA Foundation, which is a nonprofit foundation, but they do they have a high school curriculum for flight and drone, and schools across the nation, the U.S. Air Force, so on and so forth. The U.S. Air Force and retired pilots from the airlines have developed this curriculum, and schools across the nation participate in this curriculum. The CTEC boy has actually secured approval to utilize this curriculum to roll out an aviation program. And so that's something exciting, as well as the maritime program. Those are the two exciting programs that our students are getting ready to be able to participate in. We also have a program that we're going to be rolling out in short order in the St. Paul district and in the St. Thomas St. John district, which is at the secondary level, which is the ENT program. So we are in the second stage of discussions where we're going to do the EMS certification, where our students can take the initial theoretical component in the summer for credit, and then the program be introduced next school year. So they will not have to go back to phase one, because phase one would have already been completed in the summer exploratory program phase. And we're working with the VI certifying entity for EMT to bring that forward. So, and we're also going to be working in alignment with the University of the Virgin Islands on this initiative. So we have so many great things that's happening for these students, for the parents, for the Virgin Islands. But I don't think that we have opportunities, or we seize opportunities to actually talk about it. We seize our bragging rights
Mhm.
in the GVI, which is what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's why this show, the concept of this show is to let people know that there are so many opportunities here, especially our young people. Most people believe that, to make it, you have to leave the territory. If you can, for those who can afford to leave, then they leave. But what about, like we just said, what about those who can't afford to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's gonna help
Exactly.
them? Who's gonna prepare them? And that's up to us. We have to be able to say, you know what, this is how you can navigate this system. We went through it. We have the scars, the battle scars, to show you how to maneuver it correctly, so you don't have to go through what we had to go through. So, and this,
Exactly.
yeah, and we did, and just briefly to let the community know that, a group of us have been meeting to create that maritime apprenticeship program for the territory, and we've had a lot of good ideas. We put so BR is helping us with the surveys to survey the maritime industry. So we can't, we're excited about the results, and we're looking forward to that. Then we will share it with the public and plot our next. I said plot our next 5 moves, best 5 moves. So anything else you want to add, Dr. Falcon? I know you're working on other initiatives with CTEC on um, education, the board. Anything else you want to let the community know? Because this is your chance, and you're always welcome to come
But
back.
we are also working on the VI Technical College, and there's a lot of misconception about around the VI Technical College, where individuals may think that, oh, they're starting up something new, or you know, it, it's not necessarily something new, because you already have CTEC, consolidation of and consolidation of goals and a standardization alignment of curriculum and programs so that every Virgin Islander can have an equal reach and fair representation to and equal access to the programs that are offered territorially. So whatever is being offered at the skill center will be offered at CTEC and vice versa. A student that's transitioning from St. Croix should never have to miss a beat in the St. Thomas district. And a student that's transitioning from St. Thomas should never have to miss a beat in the St. Croix district. And so, how do we tie that together? The tie that binds would be a technical college. That would be the tie that binds. Not to mention, it opens up opportunities for a whole new level of funding and resources. For instance, we have Pell Grant, the Pell Grant that has actually been extended to career and technical education, even at the secondary level. You know, once we can get our, if we have students that are graduating with actually an entry-level certification at the secondary level, and then they can transition into the post-secondary adult level at the technical college, you know, so it's actually combining all of these. And then for my graduating students, for our students that are graduating from these programs, I just want to say one thing. The VI Department of Education, adult programs are not graduating students that are not proficient and well trained. And that was the CPD Fair initiative so that you could see, so that the public could see what we're turning out into the workforce. And so for the students that's graduating this year and this semester, and the students that graduated last semester, any other semester, there are some initiatives that are underway right now. And if you would like to reach out to me, 340-774-0100. If you want to be a part of the Rebuild the USVI initiative, you have skills certification in any of the construction trades, the carpentry, plumbing, the HVAC, electrical. You graduated, and you know you're self-employed or you're underemployed, and you want to be considered put in the pool for that. Just reach out 340-774-0100. Ask to speak to Dr. Faulkner, or you could email me at Monique, MONIQUE, Faulkner, FAULKNER, at VIGE.VI. Because I want to let everybody know when our students finish with our program, they're very well trained. Our instructors in the St. Thomas St. John district are the instructors that go out and they actually approve or deny these builders. They inspect, they approve, and they deny. And they come right back into the classroom and they turn out the students that go out and work with these builders. So imagine if you have the people that's actually certifying, that's actually teaching the workforce that we're turning out here at VIDE. You can imagine what that's saying about the quality of students that we're turning out into the workforce.
That's phenomenal.
So, yeah.
So, Dr. Faulkner, we're winding down, and we I guess I don't know what happened. Robert Knight was supposed to be here with you today because we were scheduled to discuss America's Talent Strategy, building the workforce for the golden age. I would still like for us to have that conversation. Lori, hopefully we can find out what happened.
Right, we'll follow up for sure.
I know he did. He did speak to the board. He had given us an update on what was happening on the Hill with the big beautiful bill. He had done that. That was last year at one of our board meetings. So we thought it would have been great that he could, talk to us about, just give us briefly on that, and then he would come back and then Sana would add in the financial literacy piece. So we would certainly want him to come back and both of you regarding America's Talent Strategy, building the workforce for the golden age, because that's where the funding is going to be. It's going to go toward that. So if reach shared up with the community, and not just for students or parents, but for people who are looking for uh, opportunities to grow their business or to start a business. They can look within that, and they can. I mean, you can. People can, if you're listening to this, you can at least start doing the legwork. It's called America's Talent Strategy: Building the Workforce for the Golden Age. It's a document. It's kind of lengthy, but if you start reading up on it and seeing where you can, you know, get the opportunities you want out of it. But certainly, Lori will definitely keep you abreast of what's going on with Mr. Knight, Robert Knight, and then we can reschedule both of you to come back and have that discussion. Is there anything you before we close that you wanna wrap up with?
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. Um, and as you talk about that American talent strategy, you know, education and training is at the forefront. Credentialing is at the forefront. Earn and learn models, skills over time, workforce alignment with education. And I think that the Virgin Islands is right on track with that. That's where even before all of this, that's where we were headed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we actually hit the nose, hit the mark on the nose, and we're right on track. So I'm excited for the actual show where we actually talk about VI talent strategy.
Yes, I like that.
Yes.
That's what we're gonna call it.
Mhm. I like it.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
well, thank you very much. And I see Josh is hovering outside. So we want to thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining us today, and thank you to our listening and viewing audience. We appreciate you tuning in, and we hope that whatever we share is beneficial to you, the community, and the entire Virgin Islands, and anyone out there, period, who wants, want to know what's happening within our workforce system. Tune in, and hopefully it'll be beneficial to you. So thank you very much. I'm Sonia Boyce.
And I am Lori Christian. Remember Tutu Park Mall today, 11 to 3. Career fair.
Wonderful. Best wishes for a
Thank
wonderful
you.
rest of the week.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Seems like